Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alamin, Rahman Rahim, Maliki Yawmiddin. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. Ihdina as-siratal mustaqim. Siratal ladzina an'amta 'alaihim ghairil maghdubi 'alaihim waladdallin. Amin. Inna fatahna laka fathan mubinan liyaghfira laka ma taqaddama min dhanbika wa ma ta'akhkhar. Wa yutimma ni'matahu 'alayka wa yahdiyaka siratan mustaqiman. Wa yansuruka Allahu nasran azizan. هو الذي أنزل السكينة في قلوب المؤمنين ليزدادوا إيمانا مع إيمانهم ولله جنود السماوات والأرض وكان الله عليما حكيما بحرمة اللهم فصل وسلم وبارك على هذا النبي الكريم سيد سند العظيم ذو القلب الرحيم سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه وسلم تسليما ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين آمين.
Amen. Shukran, Imam Jalal. Bishop, you have the floor, please.
Thank you, Chairman. Lord God of power and might, the creator, the sustainer, and the preserver of all humankind throughout the whole face of the globe, the Alpha and the Omega, the beginning and the end. We continue to implore your mercy upon each and every human being that you have created in this world and planted in every nation of the world. We continue to pray for good leadership in every nation of the world so that your people will be governed in the most quiet and peaceable manner, and that people will live an orderly life in every nation throughout the whole world. And so we continue to pray for the witnesses that will come before the TRRC this morning. We continue to ask that you shall grant them the boldness to speak the truth and continue to grant the commission the discerning spirit to discern between truth and falsehood. And we also continue to pray that you grant the population, the diaspora, and the international community extraordinary patience to allow the due process to take its proper course. This we ask through Jesus Christ our Lord. Amen.
Amen. Thank you very much, Bishop Odeko. Council, I believe we have thematic shift this morning. If we do, please proceed, and if you can just inform us what the theme is.
Thank you. Good morning, Mr. Chair, and commissioners and members of the audience. Yes, a thematic shift, so to speak. We would hear witnesses from LRR to tell us about rights violations in that area. And the witness would mainly speak to violations against him and violations that he knows about other people. So, call the witness, please.
This is on the regional hearings theme.
Yes, Mr. Chair, it's the regional hearing team.
Thank you.
I, Kassim Fadera,
I, Kassim Fadera,
do swear that
do swear that
I'll speak the truth,
I speak the truth,
the whole truth,
and
and nothing but the truth.
nothing but the whole truth.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Good morning, Mr. Witness. Yes. Thank you. Good morning, Mr. Witness.
Good morning, Council.
Welcome to the TRRC.
Thank you very much.
As you are aware, we are calling you to testify mainly about rights violations in the LRR area that you are aware of. But also, you would start with violations that you believe were carried out against you. Kindly give us your full names, please.
My name is Kassim Fadera.
Kassim, allow for interpretation in the Mandinka language.
Thank you. Okay.
So you would allow about a few seconds between your speech and that of the interpreter. All right. So please go ahead.
Okay.
Your full names, please.
Okay. Kassim Fadera. Antomo Kassim Fadera.
My name is Kassim Fadera.
And what is your date and place of birth?
Uluta Sanjumala, Uluta Mintole. Uluta Kianema.
I was born in Kiangnema.
Which year?
Sanjuma, on the 26th December 1958.
26th December 1958 was the year and date of my birth.
Could you tell us briefly your educational background?
Kumala sutun kono ila londi karawning ya commencé dame ani ya kumfa dame fo sa fo no nyeba.
Well, okay, nte mo business laldi bari nga karaw kele.
I'm a businessman, but I've been to school.
I'm a public officer, I'm a businessman.
I'm a businessman, not a public officer.
Okay.
Follow Ming.
It seems he does not want to get into
exactly,
that,
because
okay.
In the business laldi, I'm a public officer.
Okay.
No problem, Mr. Fadera. You would skip your educational background.
Yes.
And you would go into straight to talk about your businesses.
Okay.
So, tell us about what you do for a living.
Business laldi.
I'm a businessman. I started my business in Jarasoma.
1987.
In 1987.
What kind of business do you do?
Business ifa nyani leke.
Cemento and building material.
I sell cement and other building materials.
So, tell us about your encounters with security forces and political parties or groups belonging to political parties that have led to violations of your rights in this country.
Silang afonye yese nyolo mensoro inin tanko bunda molu ye mensoro nyola je ibe damento aning yese nyolo mensoro fonang aning political party wala membe banko kanjam menata na sababu ila nyanto la tinyala nyim banko kanjam.
Follow nte nyanta tinyame keta na wole keta na 1995.
First of all, the first abuse I suffered from was in 1995.
Ndebe siring na business blato.
I was sitting at the premises where I do business.
Court la badge messenger nara.
The court's messenger came to me
Magistrate court.
from the Mansakonko Magistrates Court.
And
he gave me the information that somebody called Bambo Toure has summoned me at the courthouse there. Saying that my two students went and burned his house, which was a thatched roof made of grass. And at that time, I wasn't aware of anything like that. But those two students,
they were
all in their final year at the Mansakonko Pakalinding Secondary School. Pakalinding Upper Basic School. One was 20 years old. The other was 22 years old. They were called Faseku Fadera and Nuha Jawara. He said those are the two students who burnt his thatched roof. But he summoned me to the court. When I was given the summons paper, I went to the magistrate's place called Yukase Dabo at Mansakonko. I said to him, Your Worship, this thing is strange to me. I'm not aware of anything of this sort. I don't know anything about this. But what Bambo is saying, that it's my two children who burnt his house, and to set somebody's house on fire is really very bad. I think, Your Worship, the police should be involved in this. Let them call the two people responsible and let them be questioned why they should burn his house.
But
just to make a summons paper and put my name there, Kassim Fadera. I don't know anything that has happened, even up to date. I just saw by the Quran, but I don't know what took place. I said to him, I don't think this is correct. I'm saying that I am now suggesting to you, now use your powers and inform the police, let them do investigation about this. I think that will be the best way forward. He said no. He said to me that they said these people are your children and you are answerable to whatever they do.
Your Worship.
I said to him, Your Worship, I don't think that's quite right.
Mr. Fadera, you said those kids were, or those young men were 22 years old.
And 20
years old.
Yes.
Yes. The other one was 20 years and the elder one was 22 years.
Do you have a copy of the summons?
No. When I told him that, he said, no, I am the person who is answerable to the summons. I said to him, Your Worship, you can do whatever you want. You can take me to court. Because you are the magistrate here. You have powers to do anything or to even harm me. But if it is not me agreeing to that, whatever you do to me, I will leave it with Allah, and Allah can do something also in this whole matter.
Anu niye malundi.
And if you disgrace me,
Ha, ala fana se kudo kenole de.
Allah can do something else.
Ako ha ebe na anko ha anko kabrin filtra kito nyatli mona.
When I stood in front of the court on the day of the trial,
Ay afo samanola kumakang.
they read out the summons to me.
For sitting now.
That was the first sitting.
Comment fait longe?
I said I didn't know anything about this.
Ay kito ay adjourn.
And the trial was adjourned.
Second adjournment.
The second day, the
Nada.
adjournment day, we came.
Ye ay kumakang read ko tege.
He read the summons.
Comment fait longe?
I said I don't know anything about it.
Ay adjourn.
He adjourned it again.
Tat adjourn kabra ay adjourn ko sinya saba.
After that, the third adjournment,
Ulu ate manna.
he didn't come that day.
Ntare je ko manna.
I went there, they said he didn't come.
Ay nata adjournment nani jong.
On the fourth adjournment, the day that we are supposed to report,
Ima communicate there.
they didn't give me any information about that.
Asida.
He sat down
A judgment odi.
and gave his own judgment
Against me.
against me,
Konte nyana wala bungojol.
saying that I should pay that man's house.
Ata fanya dame kabri dinuli kumo futa damma.
Were there any witnesses against you?
So the sedol sorondaro many along wolle said and rodio kitio in kono me ikamba ilo kitio kam.
Ha ako sede fula sorda.
Yes, he said there were two witnesses.
Ako wolu fana ko.
He said those witnesses also said,
Ko yamwe.
they said they had it.
Ko Fadera la dinulu.
It was Fadera's two young men
Wolle le bambo turele la nyanta mujane.
who burnt Bamboo Toure's thatched hut.
Mr. Fadera,
Mr. Fadera,
are you suggesting
we be nyini ta fo kanko.
that you cast a dabo
Ko you ka se dabo.
of blessed memory
Alama alayam falam.
just did bad things to you by giving judgment against you when there is no evidence in support of that?
Ate you ka se dabo ay ku jawo tala dong ay ale kan ka nyin kan ka kitio ta ka kuntu kan drong kula me ya lon ka man se dan de senayar ngo sota kitio nyin ko.
Is that what you're telling the commission?
Amun tay ka wala fa commission ay.
100%.
100%.
Well, anyway, do you have any documents to support your claim?
Ile kanendo e ka mem foten ke kuma ka mem foten foi kayti sotol ba mem be la kuma ka nyin fasa la ba ka sembenti yandi.
Ha kabri ay ha kaito do be jankaro ate fonga proceedings.
Yes, I have one document here because in his proceedings,
Ay kaito men ke kabri another judgment okay.
after he did the judgment,
Ay police will order putting arrest nga korojo.
he ordered the police to arrest me so that I can pay the money.
Force arrest man korojo.
When I was arrested initially, I didn't pay the money.
My question is,
Nyinin karo momenti.
do you have any documents
Ye kaito sotole bang.
that would prove your claim? Do you have a copy of the judgment, for instance?
Kitio nyin kuntri kaito nyin ya safe ko judgment on nyin ya ala copy sotole ba mem be fasa le la kuma ka wala ka sembo di.
Ala court la proceedings.
The proceedings of the court,
Awo ngo se kaito sore.
I have that document.
Let's see what you have.
Nga jibe bang ye men soto bang.
Mbaro ngaji onana to. Amira wala mun. Oi, sorry. Sorry. Well.
Mr. Chair, allow me to take a look at this. Mr. Fadera.
Mr. Fadera,
What you have explained is completely different from the case that was before His Worship Yukase Dabo.
ite yemen fo anin kes ni me alon ko wala findita yo wasi Yukase Dabo nyati ngola ifata batale.
This is not a case in which you are completely unaware of what happened.
Ñimmu kes le me yalon ko ka fo ko ima kala muta ñimmu ñoo fata
Amantara case mi ya lonko imam fen lonje comme ya fo commissioner to nyami.
fata batale.
Fata batale. In this case, you had made an agreement with the owner of the house that you were going to repair the house.
Ñing kayto rajam kuma kam be wala ñito yikina indi ñim buntiyo ñing ale kambe ngola safe ko be bungo ñing ibala bungo ñing ibado kulale.
And that's what he said, that's what all the witnesses said.
Andu ngay wala fo andu sedol be fana ye wala fo.
According to this.
Ko kayto ya fo ñame.
And the house was not just burned without you knowing. The house was burned because your property was being cleared.
Bungo ñing ya jani la andu ya kala mudal dan jali lo me ata sabu ñim bungo ñing jani ila dinkirañi yele fita.
So this case that you are citing
Yikake ñing kes men nak mo foten
does not help you.
me ma koy
And it's unfortunate Yukase Dabo is now late.
amang ben ko Yukase Dabo ñin sainte ben jamano men kono amanta baluring.
But fortunately, I know him. I went to school with him. We went to university together. He is a decent person. And that's why I was surprised by your allegation, and that's why I asked for these documents. The case before Yukase Dabo is completely different from the case you talk about.
Yes, me yalon ko na ñi kiti tela ñaati ngolay ka me Yukase Dabo fata batala ni fananka ite fanka memfo.
You personally made an undertaking that you are going to pay for these damages.
Ite fam kunni ngol sonta safiroto ko be bungo ñi ba topoto la ba do kulala.
That is what this case is about.
Ñi kes ñi beta ta nata wolam.
Hani amanka wonya.
No, that's not the way it happened.
You see, Mr. Fadera, I'm sorry to tell you,
Mr. Fadera masa de purunga ñim foyere.
we cannot
Ta kenola.
reopen judicial proceedings that have already been done and start to question the veracity of the record.
Nte kitio da yele nola me yalon ko kital num ko man to purunga ñini ngaw faylo ñi yele ka ñini karol ñi tombo wol kono me yalon ko be saferinde.
What you should have done was to appeal the decision.
Ite ñanda kam menke wala ñindi ka safero ke ñin kitio ñin kunturu ñala pour ka murun kan ka sey kan jube ka kiti ko den.
Do you know that you had that right?
Fo yolo na ma ko ite o ñanto soto la ban.
Abaraka baka council.
Thank you very much, Council.
Kabringa lawyer ta pour ayin case ni appeal.
When I took a lawyer to appeal this case,
Nga ni record men be bulletin.
the record that you have,
Nga kani.
I asked for it.
You guys say maso record dinnan.
Yukase didn't give me the record.
Otumole nata kabra ma record dinna.
When he refused to hand over this record to me,
Nga letro safe president wala officero.
I wrote a letter to the president's office.
Oh, yembula de kitolo men kono ndata jeto nga appealo ke butuka na record dinna majisoro maso ka record din.
Saying that, well, this court case that I am involved in, I requested for the documents of the court case, but they refused to hand it to me.
Nga letro safe ya jamela officero president.
I sent this letter to Yaya Jammeh's office, the president.
Do you have a copy of the letter?
O letter ro ñingala copy be bulle ba yemen ki president wala officer.
Abijan.
It's here.
Kabringa letro kije.
When I sent this letter,
Okola enatan kumandi master Supreme Court kafa Usman Jammeh.
that it was after that I was called by the master of the Supreme Court, somebody called Usman Jammeh.
Ko ye jamuta uyuka se ne pra na court proceeding odina.
He said to me that they have already talked to you, Kassim, to give me the proceedings of the court case.
Otumole inata nyum proceeding court case proceeding odina.
That was the time when they gave me this document.
Counsel, just some clarification. Is it proceedings of the court or the judgment that you were referring to?
It's the entire record.
It's the entire record.
It's the entire record.
Thank you.
Here we have the claim, you have the testimony of the witnesses, and the notification that the plaintiff, the defendant was consistently absent in the case, and then judgment was entered against him. And the interesting thing is, all the witnesses, they did not suggest that they heard about it. Let me read out what the PW2 said. My name is Demba Sise. I live at Soma. I am a Marabu. The children of the defendant burnt the house of the plaintiff when the former asked his children to clear his compound. A message was sent to the defendant. He undertook to repair the house and restore it to the condition in which it was. I last saw the house when defendant repaired the roofing frame. And the defendant, that is Mr. Fadera, even asked questions. He asked him, where were you when the house was burnt? And then he responded, I was at Keba Toure's compound. And then he asked another question. Is it correct that I promised to repair the house? And the witness answered, it is correct. You made the promise. And that was it. That is the record. Then the next witness. My name is Sekou Touré. I live in Soma. I am a farmer. I was at Keba Toure's house when the house of the plaintiff was set ablaze by the children of the defendant. Defendant has sent his children to clear his compound when they set fire to the house of the plaintiff. Defendant visited the scene. Defendant undertook to repair the house. The roofing has been completed, but it is not properly done. The workmanship is not up to it. It's not up to acceptable standard. And he was asked a question. How are you related to the plaintiff? He said, he is my older brother. Then the question again, did you not promise to help my children with the weaving of the grass? That is Kassim asking questions. And the guy said, I said so. And then Kassim asked, did you honor your promise? The guy said no. Clearly, this case suggests that Kassim was very much aware of the burnt house. Isn't that the case, Mr. Fadera? That you are very much aware of the burnt house. The summons was not a shock to you, as you put it.
Council, just before he answers that question, Council, can you just remind the Commission why is this issue before TRRC?
Well, he brought it out as a surprise to me. It's not in his statement. I know that he had once indicated this story to me, but it's not in his statement. So it came as a surprise to me. Perhaps maybe it's because of the broad nature of the question.
Well, you were very clear in your remark that we are not here to revisit matters already settled in court.
Especially court cases that have been settled.
Yeah.
You should have appealed.
Anyway. Thank you very much, Council. If it is not within the mandate, we can put it aside and proceed with the other matters.
Yes, but I want you to answer these questions.
Okay.
Because you have put in the record some accusations against Yukase Dabo.
Very well. Let me come up.
And the record does not help you.
Okay.
Ako akamem fo ye tumiro la ni Yukase Dabo ka memu yinkiti ndir latinu bari andun safero do me ya e mentandi je safero nyim me de made
sai don na ngo senandi.
Let me clear that part.
Nte nga fo nyameng nye mem fo kayto ro jang.
What I said and what is said in the paper.
Nte ni ala tema
between me and Allah, that's not the way it happened. I didn't send these kids to go and burn the place. And when they burned the place, I was not aware of it. But this agreement that is being talked about, the young men agreed that they will repair his house.
Mr. Fadera, you're questioning. You did not tell the court. You did not tell any of those witnesses that it was the children who made that promise. All of them said you made that promise and you did not dispute that in the record. Answer the question. The question is, you were told by everybody, all the witnesses and the plaintiff, that you made the promise. And you did not deny it.
What I'm trying to point out is that what these witnesses said is not, what this witness said is not true.
But Mr. Fadera, in 1995, you were standing at that court and you did not challenge them.
But Mr. Fadera, 1995, it is a muketa molde mealan ko belori no kiti boni kono jandu man ko ni so.
But in Safaro Temani Safaro, maybe council nyatlimula.
I didn't write this document which is in front of the council.
So are you suggesting that the court record is also falsified?
Very well. Not 100%.
I believe that 100%.
Mr. Fadera, I take serious exception to this. Yukase Dabo is a honorable person, and he was a good magistrate. The record here clearly shows that your claim is not true. And in your letter to the president, well, this is a draft letter to the president. There is nowhere you claim that Mr. Yukase Dabo falsified the record.
Dinkirate je la letter or benki president o kay tandiko be Mr. Yukase Dabo memo magistrate o tenu ay la safero nying ay la record nying ay filindile.
Well, ndenga mesa president wala mindu ko kito ke kito me ajengadal.
What I wrote to the president about is the trial that took place is not correct.
What miscarriage of justice.
What I said to him was that it was a miscarriage of justice.
How did you get this document?
In kaito ya soro no nyadi le. In court line recordo.
Kabili ni letter of the president.
It was It was when the letter reached the president that Usman Jammeh, the master of the court, told me that the president has received the letter, and that was the time when this document was handed to me.
Okay. So you in fact appealed the matter?
Exactly.
Yeah,
okay, and what was the outcome of the appeal?
Casing around out of a statutory mandatory to hear that application.
Yes, what they told me was that the time of the case has elapsed. For the appeal has elapsed.
Hold the second counsel. Bishop Commissioner Odiko has got asked for the floor to make an intervention. Bishop, go ahead, please. You have the floor.
Thank you, Chairman.
Commissioner Odiko kumala subab da lafta kamemvo.
I want to believe that this is a judgment from the magistrate court.
Ko alata nyinela ko nyimukiti kunturo de mealon ko aketa muna kiti bundandingol de memo magistrate court olde.
And as such,
dalilo kang
there are other stages after this particular court.
Ni bota yin kiti bundandingol to kiti bunda kotangol dol fanam besanto anyo akane.
I think what you should have done, Mr. Kassim Fadera,
Mr. Kassim Fadera
is for you to appeal to the High Court. And if you are not satisfied with the judgment of the High Court, you appeal to the other court.
Ninga haninka bi kiti bunda ba fana ya kundunya me man sewo fana haninka bi sitenten no leta kiti bunda do fananto.
If you are not satisfied with the result of the Court of Appeal, you appeal to the higher court, the Supreme Court.
Haninka bi ni man sewo fana na ol fana ya kundunya me sitano kiti bunda danta dame do lam Supreme Court isitano or fanantole.
I think these were the processes that you ought to have taken. Quite honestly, and not to bring the matter to the TRRC. Thank you.
Okay,
yes, okay, what I'm going to reply to that. What I'm going to say to that is that I have seen that my right has been violated.
Application putting in court proceedings.
When I wrote an application for this court about these court proceedings, magistrate refused to give me the document. That was the reason why I wrote a letter to the president.
For 3 months.
It took almost 3 months. After the time elapsed, that was the time I was given this record.
High Court.
I went to the High Court. They told me the time of the case has already passed.
Chief Justice here.
I wrote a letter to Chief Justice.
Which is a case review.
So that they can review the case. Chief Justice also said
the
matter has been referred to the High Court.
So after High Court time elapsed.
And already the High Court has already said that the time has elapsed.
So
and how things took place, I did not mean that the president hadn't intervened. I would not even be given this record.
So right violated because ma kalam men fole keta ni record me fere magistrate la sabe adum ma felonje.
Well, the reason why that happened is I thought that my right has been violated, because even this document which has been handed to me, had I not written a letter to the president's office, I wouldn't have been even given this document.
Mr. Fadera.
Mr. Fadera,
Have you reported to the police that the record of the proceedings have been falsified?
fo ina na ko sambala ya bole police wali ya kai fo ko safiro membe kaito nyin kono kuma kan ne me ko ya filinde le ba.
No,
no, I have never been to the police. I was just dealing with my lawyer.
And even in your letter, to draft letter to the president, because this is not signed. You even indicated that there was connivance between the master of the High Court, Mr. Usman Jammeh, and Mr. Yukase Dabo.
Yeah, it and later on in Fankono Jeko, Mr. Usman Jammeh and Mr. Yukase Dabo, it will move on in Fang Chokinyolo Bay the Malte Male.
To deprive you of your rights. That's what you said in the letter.
You like later on in Kono.
Well, position.
Yes, that's my position.
And you think that is true?
And we let
Okay. All right. Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Fadera.
Mr. Fadera.
Okay, I would not include these two materials in the record. Because I believe that these are matters that were already dealt with judicially. And we have nothing else that would warrant really reopening that particular issue. So let's move on to the next rights violation that you suffered.
Council.
Thank you, Council. Let's go to the second violation of my right. As a businessman, I wrote an application to the Mansakonko Area Council so that they can give me a plot of land where I can build myself. I'll build something there.
Was the allocation to be permanent or was it temporary?
On a temporary basis.
All the land that belongs to the Mansakonko Area Council, they don't give it permanently. They only allocate it to you for on a temporal basis.
Proceed, please.
They allowed me. I built a cement block building there. After writing my application and it was approved, they gave me a letter.
Oh, temporal letter.
Saying that the allocation of that plot of land to me is temporary.
Anytime,
whenever the area council needs the place or government, they will take it.
But they will
consider something. As far as you are also doing business, they will make an alternative arrangement for you. If there is another place, they will give it to you.
And if a place is not available?
If that's how it will be left, they will leave it like that. I was having that place.
1989.
Since in 1989, I was doing business there.
For another 2008.
Until 2008. One day I was just sitting in the shop there. A notice came saying that it is from the Mansakonko Area Council. Saying that premises, let me leave the place. They need the place. I said, now, if I leave this place, where am I going? Because I get all my livelihood from this business that I am doing at these premises here. The CEO said, saying that the information came from the chief.
What's the name of the chief?
Yaya Jajusi.
Yaya Jajusi.
Unko bari aliana telefona mira karun telefona business kabin 1989.
I said to them, but you should have considered something for me because I was doing business here since in 1989.
Atukubila nka baluo ni landero.
Up to date, this is where I earn my living. And if you want me to live here without giving me another place, that is going to be harmful to me. He said, that's what the chief said.
Do you have the correspondence?
That's the notice paper.
Please send me all the documents.
I told Bekin Council.
Any document that is requested for, whenever we reach that topic, I will give you the document.
No problem, Mr. Kassim Fadera.
Mr. Kassim.
Yes. So how many? Were you given time?
I think it's 1 month. Just check.
They said if you could remember during the allocation, these were some of the conditions you accepted before the allocation. But it was temporary.
Later on, you make a jolem indigo, water men and Nihakilo Samuran, water men a wedding granny dear, Nilam Sarto do the Memfo, Willem Yintico, Dingranium by DK Baramanka for Watilem.
You should vacate this area at least by 12th July 2007. You were given 1 month.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So what was the problem?
They didn't give me another place.
Did you ask for another place?
Yeah,
Do you have, how did you make that request?
I went to the CEO at the area council.
Did you write?
I went there to discuss it with him.
So
that they can give me an alternative place where I can also transfer to.
So did you receive a response in writing?
It was all verbal.
What did he say?
He said there is no other place.
Was that not one of the conditions for the temporary allocation?
Council.
100%, yes.
So proceed then. What?
But what's there is that Masakonko Area Council belongs to all of us. We own the place. They are working for us. And they should consider our interests. This is why I requested for them to give me another place. When they didn't give me another place, they insisted and said that I have to leave that place. I also insisted not to leave the place. Well, the conditions on my approval letter is that if they are going to take that place for me,
they will use it for public use.
They will use it for public
interest.
For public interest.
So, this time around.
But when they are taking the place from me this time around,
individual.
It was they wanted to give it to an individual.
Mr. Fadera, did you read the letter?
Later on,
They said it was to be used for a bank, which is a more national issue. That's what the letter said.
That's what they said on the letter. But that's not true.
On the ground.
Kassim, where is your document saying that a revocation of your allocation would only happen if there is going to be a national interest?
That document got lost because it was a long time.
Do you realize that in their letter, the notice to vacate,
In Kalamudalo later on ya ki puru dingirani yeboje.
They said that the conditions you accepted
Ya
were
foje
that
ko.
if they need the place, you vacate.
Ya foje ko dingirani ida korta menna follow ke follow ya foje ko dingirani ni sula tala wato wati don ibe bola jele.
Ngo foje na council.
Yes, I said that.
So it was not contingent on there being a national interest.
But the approval letter about all of it.
But you don't have that document.
No, master.
No, I don't have that.
But Mr. Fadera, do you think it was right that you refused to vacate a property that does not belong to you?
Masakong area council mundola area council the council.
Masakong area council is our area council.
Is it Kassim Fadera area council?
No.
Exactly. So why would Kassim Fadera sit on property belonging to Mansakonko area council and he refuses to vacate?
Sila muna sabu Kassim Fadera be balan na kabo Mansakonko area council la fengoto.
Kabini manna song.
Answer the question. Why would you refuse to vacate?
Sai muna na ite be balan na
What
kabo.
right did you have to refuse to vacate?
Mute munyanta la soto member sabu le ite be balan na pur kabo dingiranyindo.
Yalong ye approval letter me na ko.
Yeah, the approval letter that was given to me.
Only public interest.
They will use the place for public interest.
Public interest.
That public interest was not what was happening. This is why I refused to vacate.
Kassim, couldn't the area council recover the property it owns from you and sell it?
Masango area council ila itamu mente foi ta tano le buluba ya wafi ba.
Masango area council buka banko wafi.
Congo area council don't sell land. They don't have that mandate.
That is what you say. Okay, but can't they take it from you and reassign it to someone else to do something that is more in line with the development aspirations of the area council?
They have that right.
So what was your problem?
But I also saw that I was earning my livelihood from that place. And I'm a family man. I have they should consider me.
But Mr.
When they refused to consider me, and I realized that they were going to give me, I said, I realized that that's wrong. Then I wrote a petition to the president.
Another petition. Let's take a look at it.
When I wrote that petition,
do you have a copy of the petition?
That copy also got lost. But something came out of that petition.
Minister of local government.
Minister of
local government.
I went to the Minister of Local Government.
I asked
the Director of Land about this issue. And his name is Kemo Conte. I explained to him. I told him the area council wants me to vacate the place, and that's where we earn our living. And that's the matter now between me and the council, and I refused. And I wrote a petition to the president's office. It was the time when the director of land told me. I also got information about this issue from the president's office. But we've also sent communication to the Mansakonko Area Council so that they will stop the process. Now they should check properly what the law says. Because the grounds of your petition,
local government act
is our local government act.
Ninga lari mola officially.
If we officially give somebody a,
And we every business okay jam for sanji jama.
and we've been doing business there for many years.
Nka consideration di la puru card lado di la puru la business so soundi je.
We also consider to give you an alternative place so that you can transfer your business to that new place.
And we wole mula ground of appeal di.
And that was the ground of
And
appeal.
we ye otantola act le kono.
And you took that out of our act.
Oto itaje ebe kuma mula nyuating.
So go there, they will give you an information these days.
Veje
I was there.
ye letter do sabana.
They brought another letter.
We come Masakongo Area Council.
They said it's from Mansakongo Area Council.
Eko decision onye.
They said that the decision now
Puruka na la wutu.
to remove my property, to remove the place where I was.
Ya cancel.
They have cancelled it.
Cancel the travel.
That's the letter they sent.
So what is your claim?
Thank you very much. Kabiri cancel. Left the Yohana Council.
And after this, after their decision was cancelled,
Proceed.
Kabiri cancel.
when it was cancelled,
Bedlaro.
I was there.
Belarena Suokono.
One day I was at home.
On the 26th day of April 2008.
2008, 26th of April.
2008, April.
2008, April 26th.
So it was not cancelled. It was suspended.
Well, I'm calling for suspended.
Yes, that's what I said. They suspended it.
Yes, okay. It was not cancelled.
It was not cancelled. Okay,
yes.
so I was at home that day.
26th April 2008.
26th of April 2008.
The
NIA came and picked me from my home. They brought me to Banjul.
After
They initially took me to Mansakonko, and from there they brought me to Banjul. I was detained at the NIA premises.
Why?
Why? Reason for my detention. The day they arrested me, I was not given any information.
On the 26th,
I think the 26th was on Saturday. I spent the night in a cell at Mansakonko.
Following day Sunday,
The following day, Sunday, the vehicle came and picked me up and took me to the NIA yard in Banjul. The young man who took me and escorted me to the NIA is called Dembo Sise, a young man. Dembo Conte.
The Sise?
Dembo Sise.
NIA operative problem.
He works for the NIA.
When
we arrived at the NIA yard, he gave me to the people on duty. He told them, I am told to bring this man here for you. And he told them that the man's name is Kassim Fadera. Book him and detain him. I was detained. On Monday,
Dembaso, director, camera operational.
who?
Dembaso.
So he thought, I think he's the director of operations. At that time, that was his position. It's called Dembaso.
Yeah, I got okay now.
He sent somebody to come and take me
from detention center
from the detention center to his office. When I reached his office, he told me to sit down. He said to me, Kassim, do you know me? I said, I recognize you. It's Dembaso. Because one time you were posted at Mansakonko.
As the OC.
And as the OC. I know you. He said, do you know why you are brought here? I said, I don't know. He said, it is because of your canteen issue.
Mansakongo Area Council and
Mansakonko Area Council and the chief, Yaya Jajusi, They said they gave you that plot of land,
Ikoye boje.
but now they want you to vacate the place,
Ikote de bolaje.
and you said you are not leaving
Kadede umbangu dingol.
because you are a citizen.
Iko badi le mena umulun tangol.
The person they want to allocate it to is a foreigner.
Sai me ini kala men.
So what I'm asking you is,
Aduni ba sela bang fota sela.
will you return that place back to them or not?
Ngai dembaso.
I said to him, Dembaso,
Na malon ko kantin ko wala samba na ina
I never knew that it was because of that canteen that I was brought to the NIA.
Kadunte.
Because me,
Andu ni era kansuya ka tilbulo amanga surodi.
because this canteen, I got it from the area council in daylight, not at night.
Ye kay dolo dinna.
They gave me a document.
Bari ima fonyo ko mile kamala sudo talam fula kane samba na ina
They didn't tell me that they will pick me up at night around 2 a.m. and bring me to the NIA.
Bar ne atta nyin kantin ko wala samba na jang.
But if it is because of that canteen why I am here,
Adu ko fo ni mabulante bola jang.
and they said if I don't vacate that place, I will remain here,
Woto mbabula le.
then I will leave the place.
Mabula le.
I will leave the place.
Ajeda.
He laughed.
Kakala da.
He laughed.
Ako okay.
He said, okay.
Ako Omar Tungara.
He's called Omar Tunkara.
Peno samanang.
Bring a pen.
Ala samanang.
Bring a pen.
Afa sign.
Let him sign.
What date was that?
Work be kanya na yalo on the 26th le yang arrest.
I was arrested on the 26th
Of
April.
April
which year?
2008.
2008.
Okay. Proceed.
So abe kanya na ngamira around the 28th.
I think it will be around the 28th.
Ngamira.
I think.
But the 26th yang arrest.
I was
At 2 a.m.
I was arrested on the 26th at 2 a.m.
Ako Omar Tungara peno samanang kala.
He said, Omar Tunkara, bring a pen.
Adia aya sign.
Give it to him, let him sign
Pa be je bulala.
that he is going to leave that canteen.
Nga sign.
I signed.
I continue to detain.
But I went, they continued to detain me
For on the 4th of May.
till the 1st of May.
And so how many days did you spend in detention?
26th May arrest.
I was arrested on the 26th.
Okay, saying on the 1st of May yen samba masako mambulade.
On the 1st of May, I was taken to Masakongo. They didn't release me.
Ini moto tare yum samba masako koteke. Ni escorto.
I was escorted to Mansakonko.
Abirum furara.
When we reached Mansakonko,
NIA samba governor officer.
NIA took me to the governor's office.
Abirum furara je.
When we reached the governor's office,
NIA me samba ni tatolalde.
the NIA who took me there, I forgot his name.
Ako governor ko Fadera ferenga amurun alian.
He said to the governor, here is Fadera, we have brought him back.
Saying akabe kantung selal.
And he has promised to leave the canteen.
Governor kaya koko mbatunga chief call.
Governor said to him, wait, let me call the chief.
Arun chief lebe yunko be called.
Because it is the chief who is head of the whole thing.
Well, chief ya jaji.
That's Sefo Yaya Jajusi.
Governor Sefo call.
That's how.
Up to this time, Mr. Fadera, were you treated well?
Kabula ni watu la je fo ye muta ku muta nya kenda la ba.
NIA.
At the NIA premises,
Well, muta jele be light detention wala fanar dame.
Yes, I was under detention.
Light detention.
Light detention.
Ha bari lunkilim beje.
But there was a day,
Na koto ma fon koto ma bakilim fakilim.
my elder brother of the same mother and father,
Anata jibe NIA.
he came to look at me at the NIA.
Kafa Samsidin.
They call him Samsidin.
Ako na doma wala bejang.
He said to them, my younger brother has been detained
Ko
here.
wala bejang nata wala jibe.
I came here purposely to see him.
Ngamo gado ba fala dato.
I heard the guard at the gate telling him,
Akaya ko mota je kafme Kassim Fadera.
there is nobody here called Kassim Fadera.
Kabringo mo dron.
When I heard that,
Nga to nga pitina na wafta bata.
that's how I rushed out.
Nka mbejane.
I said to him, I am here.
Adunda na wana adunda.
He also came in.
Kabra adunda.
When he came in,
Aninga nyokondo.
we exchanged greetings.
Atara.
He went.
Kabra atara.
When he left,
Amam tabe militi lula.
In less than 5 minutes,
Te kanam bafula nada.
two strong men came for me.
Loto manina lengalo ne de kabiri muta the second time lengalo.
Well, the other one, I didn't forget his name because when I went back there the second time, that's when I knew his name.
Atomu modu jajileti.
He's called Modu Jaju.
Yola kambanole.
He's from the Jola tribe.
Doto file de manina kondonla de.
The other one's surname is Fai.
Woli konye ko nana ba e koita.
That they called me and told me that they want you here, come.
Nge noma.
I followed them.
Ntara fo corner side.
We went up to a corner side.
Ye selo daile.
They opened a cell.
Ko ngadunje.
They said, let me go in there.
Ko ngamleke.
I said to them, what have I done?
Iko edungjang.
They shouted on me and said, they said, you go in here.
No.
I said, no. I didn't kill anybody. I didn't wound anybody. Why should I go into the cell? When I said that, they fell on me. They put me down on the ground. They pushed me on they hit my head against the cement. The other one caught my legs. The other one caught my hands. They hit me against the cement. Once. Twice. The third time, my knee was dislocated. Then I became limp. Then I became somehow dizzy. Then I felt the dizziness over me. They opened the cell.
First door.
The first door. I was placed inside the cell. There is another cell which has two doors. They opened another door. And they pushed me inside that room. They locked that door. And they locked the second door also. When I got up, because at that time my leg was paining, I stood. I placed my head against the iron rods. And it's an angular iron which was fixed on the place. It was on my head. Those irons, each one of them. Myself, including all our villagers, we cannot cut it or remove it. When I lie down, I cannot straighten my legs. I said, well, it is tough. What I did was,
what have I done?
What have I done? Why should I be here? These people to come and bring me and put me here. I said, today the world will come to an end. I was there. I was crying. Seriously. If I lie down, I cannot lie down. If I get up, and stand, my head will knock against the angular iron on top. I had to squat. I have to squat down, crying. That's how I was. Till after 3 hours, very close to the time when they were supposed to close from work, one lady was just passing by. She heard me crying. She came near me. She asked me what has happened. I said, me, is because of a canteen. That's the issue between me and the chief and the area council. I didn't organize any coup. I didn't wound any. I didn't kill anybody. I didn't insult anybody. But this is why I am here. He said she said to me, is that the only issue?
Wallahi al-azim.
Then I swore to her saying that that's the only issue. Then she signaled me to keep quiet. She said she was going to the director. I'll help you. I said, okay, thank you. Help me for the sake of Allah. I was there. Shortly, just before they closed, I saw a guard which came there. He opened the door. He said to me, they said you should go there and stay there. That's the area for light detention.
Who did you say opened the cell doors?
Jumale bunda ele selo bunda.
He's one of the guards there.
Proceed, please.
I don't know his name. But at that time, my knee was already dislocated. I limped, tried until I reached the place. When I arrived there, I lied down. I was there. Like that. Those who were there with me are the people who were massaging my leg for me. They used to bring a robe, something like a robe, which they robe on me till on the 1st of May. They brought a vehicle and took me.
Mike.
26, 27, 28, 29.
No, the question is, how many days were you there after this incident?
I think it should be 2 days. It was the 3rd day that they took me away from there.
Okay. Proceed, please.
And they took me again to Mansakonko. When I arrived at Mansakonko, the governor called the chief, and the chief came. The chief told the governor to take me to the Mansakonko police station.
Soma police station.
To the Soma police station and lock me up in a cell.
Did you or did anybody indicate to the chief that you had signed papers giving up the canteen?
For most of the mayor itan di say for ko it signed the canteen ni na kuonying ya
kaito sign
purka jese
gado me samana.
The guard who brought me there, I saw that guard plus the chief and the governor. They went into the house, into the governor's office. I don't know what they discussed there. I don't know. But when the chief was saying that take him to Soma, I heard that.
Do you indicate to them that you had already given up? The canteen?
No,
they are just the people who are talking. I don't say anything.
That is strange, Mr. Fadera. To have Mr. Fadera seated, discussing a matter that concerned him. He's already under detention, and he was going to be further detained, and he didn't say anything. That is strange, Mr. Fadera.
Mr. Fadera fela be siring Morocco na diam da ya nyini ga diam da sila fela be siring ja bina kantin se ndila be siring.
Governor la resident.
Abe daring aman diam.
Governor
la resident se bol la.
No, ako ngamira ifaye samba governor le ya fo.
Governor la resident.
This was at the governor's residence.
But still you did not say anything?
No.
You did not tell them that you had given up the canteen?
They didn't ask me anything. They just discussed between themselves.
And you told?
They took me to the Soma police station. I was put in a cell. Governor was standing. The chief was standing. The chief told the governor, go and send the police to go and arrest all those who were helping him. He said, Falaiba. He said, let them go and pick him up.
Police will try to follow back.
The police came. The police went for Falaiba and brought him.
I started of Sara Musa.
From his village in Sara Musa.
Mr. Fadera,
Fadera,
were you resisting giving up the canteen?
ebe balankanda no buruka kanto ni sendi ba. Ebe
Up
balankanda
to the point you were arrested.
For what mena yemuta.
How can?
Yes, that's true.
Okay. Were you obstructing the officers in the execution of their duties?
Police ol menu na raje pour que la do ko fay bantambilte ñaata la ba pour que la do.
Kada mito police dima?
No, not
Officers ke mention ko area council you mean?
Yes, were you
Area council
obstructing Mansa Konko Area Council from executing the order for you to vacate?
Mansango area council do kula nyim fay bantambilte ñaata la ban tumala mena inata pour que la do ko pour ite bo dingi.
Council Mansango area council civil council eti.
Mansakongo Area Council is a civil council.
Olu manke diamol kare ni moltema.
They just talk with people.
Amanke ko ka foko ko with police issue de kare ni tema.
No, it is like this. Not that there is an issue between you and them. It's just mere talk.
Have you ever had conversations with the chief about you vacating the place?
Ini sefo ni nana na kacha soro nyin kun nyin kanto nyin na kola lamburi la boje.
Wokera well before be arrest la.
That happened well before I was arrested.
And did you indicate to the chief? What did you indicate to the chief? Was it that you were going to vacate or that you were not going to vacate?
Yamuna itandi sefo nyin na fo ya itandala ko be bola dingira nyin tolo bang fo ya itandala ko de dingira.
Council cabinet dara sefo ya.
Council, when I went to the chief, I said to him, I got a letter from the Mansakonko Area Council. You said that I should vacate the place. The chief said he was not aware of that. Governor, that's the person who brought somebody else,
customer,
who brought a customer there, who is going to buy that place. But as the chief, as he said, he was not aware of that. When he told me that, I went to the governor. I didn't go alone to the governor. That was well before I was arrested.
The
APRC regional chairman, he is my cousin brother. I told him to convey me to the governor. Because when we went to the chief, he said he doesn't know, he is not aware of anything about that place. So this man conveyed me to the governor. We went to the chief so that they can forgive. And to give me another place or leave me at these same premises. I want us all to unite as relatives. Let's have mercy for each other. And this person we are talking about, let him look for another plot of land. This is why I brought my cousin, the chairman of the APRC. Although we are not in the same party, Governor said, the chief said that I brought a customer.
In the first place,
the governor said, in the first place, that's not true. It is true that we have already sold the place. But the customer was brought by the chief himself. Plus somebody else called Baba Drame.
Did you challenge the sale of the property?
That's why I wrote a letter to the president. Because that place should not be sold. It's a part of the Local Government Act. That's why I wrote a letter to the president.
It is your claim that the Local Government Act provides that land belonging to the council cannot be sold. Is that what you say?
Exactly. Area council
Can you refer us to the section?
Hani science majide but wala muto nyata fana bola nyama hani kabriman najan land administrator kunu nabe katala wala fana area farm.
I cannot check for this section right now, but even yesterday, I was talking to an official of the local government who also confirmed that to me.
Okay, we would provide you with a copy of the act and you, during the break, and then you would look up the provision and bring it to the attention of the commission.
Lua me malangolo marling kenola banko kanjamba lua buko.
Yeah,
what I want to tell council now,
area council member urban area.
the area councillors around the urban areas
And the area council member rural area.
and the area councillors at the rural areas, they are quite different. That's quite so you can.
So, Kabri, yes, Masakong police, Soma police.
Mr. Fadera, we would provide you with. You just tell us the law you want us to provide you with. We would provide it to you, and then you would identify the relevant provision, and you would bring it to us. You can also call this person that you conferred with yesterday. He can also give you further directions.
Yamari nyimfanang ning me along ko ina kachata le kunu membe do ko la local government. Ini sa kumande fana ya fa e de ma pour kay dingira nyim foya be loi fundamental.
Oh, okay, but
let's agree.
Okay, bismillah.
Yes, I agree to that.
Okay, Kabiri me Soma police.
When I was at the Soma police,
the
chief sent police to go and bring Falai Ba from Sare Musa. The Falai was brought. I was locked in the same cell with him.
And how was Falai helping you?
Falai dung atak tartake de manya di lelan.
Falai Ba
he is part of the APRC party.
Atelemu APRC representative throughout Kabada.
Throughout Kabada area, Falai was the APRC representative there. He is responsible for all coordination.
So, Okamala, excuse me.
Answer my question. How was Falai Ba helping you, and how was
Yes, that's what I'm coming to now.
Falai Ba mu kabri APRC ko be alone.
All APRC know him. When I was arrested,
okay, Falai Ba te APRC ko minister.
Falai Ba he informed the minister that what the chief and others are doing to him is wrong.
So
I think this is what the chief had.
Because Kabiri released.
Because when I was released,
Falai
Ba, myself and him, we came to Banjul. Falai took me to the minister called Antuman Saho and explained everything to him. Saying to him that what these people are doing in Mansa is not part of the law. And because he knows the APRC people. So, just Falai's statement saying that what they are doing to me is wrong.
So your suggestion, therefore, is that Falai was detained simply because he had complained that what those people were doing was wrong.
Exactly.
Il kamem fo wala nyindiko Falai fana dalilo me ya sabu ya muta ya de sorong wala nyindiko ata fana keta molde me alonko ka wosi ta nyala me alonko ka menke daji amanka
wala fa kada.
Wala kada. That's what happened.
So Kabiri endile Soma.
When we were detained at Soma, a lot of people came there. All Kabada came down. When they came, the police station was filled up. The governor said, take them to Mansakonko, that area is a remote place. A lot of people will not be able. They took us again to Mansakonko. They put me in the same cell again with Falai. We spent the night there. Falai Ba. He didn't sleep that night. He talked till daybreak, saying the job he did for APRC. Those people didn't pay him with anything, just to pick him and put him in a cell, saying that he was just helping Fadera. That is really, that puzzled him. He was crying. There was a policeman called Sanafofana. He said to Falai, calm down. A human being, whatever happens to you, will come to an end one day. But you are not sleeping. People also are not allowed to sleep. Just calm down. Falai, what I realized, he was shocked. It was a big shock to him. Because Yaya Jammeh knew him very well. They called him Yaya Jammeh's Falai Ba. We were there till daybreak. The chief came. The governor came. They said, bring them out of the cell. When we went out, the chief said, you people are enemies of this land, especially you, Fadera. Yourself and Falai. Fadera. This plot of land you are talking about doesn't belong to your father. Falai Ba. Where you are sitting at Saremusa, your village, is my father's farmland. I will drive you out from there so that you will return to Casamas. He said to them, leave them to go home. When they were about to release us, there was a young policeman. His name is Juf. He said, don't release them like that, let's charge them. Because now people are going into a lot of things. Let's charge them for false information. They made that charge sheet, and they said somebody should bail us. Someone bailed all of us. They left us and we went home. Mike.
What was the false information you were accused to have given?
Mr. Juf, police.
The policeman, Mr. Juf, he is the person who can explain that. Because he didn't tell us anything, especially about the false information. And that Mr. Juf is a prosecutor. I think right now he's at the police training school.
Is the better person
Yeah, I think he's the best person who. But all of charges on the charge he decided to tell and the orders to put on us.
Yo Kabiru Lumena only 26 May Yemuda.
Mr. Fadera, perhaps maybe we could leave it at this and take a coffee break. And then you would continue. When
okay, thank you very much, Council.
Yeah, but before we go for the 30-minute break, where was the document that you signed surrendering the property?
NIA premises.
Who was in possession of it?
NIA.
The NIA has
left
the
it at the NIA.
Very well indeed.
Was in Banjul?
Yes. One Umar Tunkara. NIA still at NIA at the NIA headquarters in Banjul.
He's an NIA and he's still at the NIA headquarters in Banjul.
And you don't know if the governor and the chief were aware of your signing that document?
No.
We'll come back after at 12:30. Meeting is adjourned. Thank you very much.